Hey guys, my name's Sam and welcome to Prep Medic. Last week, I posted a video about the kinds of people and personalities that will not make it in public safety interviews, discussing police, fire, EMS, and then promotions within each of those categories. I stand behind everything I said in that video. However, I do think some of the things I said were confusing, and I want to apologize for anybody that took offense to it. I really started to think about what I portray on social media and how that can be taken to mean something completely different. And really what I want to focus on is the difference between obsession and passion. I also want to talk about why I don't think obsession is the answer in this, and why I do not think somebody that is obsessed with whatever career path they want to go down is going to be successful in the long run. The comment that really kind of hit home was this one right here. And to the outside observer, I am a flight paramedic. I work as a SWAT paramedic, a SAR paramedic. I run a YouTube channel completely dedicated to EMS and my career. I have a pretty successful Instagram page, and all of that is just showing my professional life over and over and over again on the internet. And I think it's really easy for somebody to take that out of context and think, man, this guy right here that looks like his entire life revolves around EMS and public safety is telling me that I can't be obsessed with this and that I'm not going to be successful. I really want to debunk that in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. So obsession, the example I gave last week was the person that really wants to be a police officer. So they have future cop in their bio. They went and they bought a Crown Vic. They put lights up in the car. They've got a police scanner. They're blousing their boots and wearing 511 pants every day. They've got a job at a security firm. And that is really all they've based their personality around. That is their hobby, is they scan the police radio. They, watch police videos on YouTube. They do things to help prepare them, for academy, or what they believe will prepare them for academy. And on their own, none of that's bad, right? Like, it's totally legitimate to get experience for law enforcement in a security agency, or, to get experience as a professional firefighter at a volunteer agency, and to do those things and to be passionate. And I'll be completely honest, when you first start in public safety, especially if you're young, almost everybody has a phase where it's like the coolest thing ever. Like, I was that guy. I had my pager on my pants when I was off duty. We've seen the people at like EMS conferences that bring, their radios and stuff. We've had those phases. I've had those phases. However, there is a difference between that passion and obsession. What I find is that somebody that is really obsessed with it, that's what they've based their entire personality around, is they get into these jobs, and number one, they're on an even playing field the second they walk in the doors. So they walk in with a bunch of new grads. Everybody's going to struggle, whether that's through academy or your orientation process, or taking the next step, taking your paramedic exam, something like that. Everybody's going to have something they struggle with. But all of those things you did aren't going to help you as much as you think they will. Now, that passion will drive you for a little bit. However, when you get into these careers, you realize that this was a dream career for a lot of people, and still is for a lot of people, but it is just a job, right? Like, you will have administrators you hate. You will have policies you hate. You will have bad days at work. There will be gripes from the bottom to the top. You have the operators at the highest call volume SWAT teams in the United States that have like the dream job for a lot of people. And you'll learn that it's just a job. People still quit because they're unhappy. People still have problems in the job. You get that job at that big fire department and they have issues. It is just a job. So when you realize that, and now your entire personality is in whatever career that is, it's really hard to disengage. Everybody's going to have doubts periodically. And if you look at it and you're like, man, this is everything I wanted, and now it's mortal, right? Like, now I realize that there are issues within it. Now I realize that I don't love every single aspect of it. All of those are normal emotions, but it's really easy to feel trapped if you have nothing else. And with that, everybody's going to have down points in their career. We are really all, in public safety, we are all one really bad physical injury away from losing our job. We might have emotional injury that could cause us to lose the job. We could have like personal things that could compromise our ability to do the job. So all those things, you have to understand that if it is all taken away, what do you have left? Because it could be. Now, I'm going to bring that back to kind of my own experience in this realm. And like I said before, it's really easy for somebody to look at me and think, wow, Sam's obsessed with the job. How dare he tell me that I can't be obsessed with it? And I think it might look like obsession to some people because that's all I portray on social media. But what you're not seeing is all the things I do outside of work. I go home, I clock out. I really try not to be super involved with work when I'm at home. I try not to answer emails. My boss would say I don't really answer emails at work. However, with that, I am spending probably 8 to 9 hours a week doing trail runs in the mountains. I like hiking. I like backpacking. I ski on my off time. Yeah, I use a lot of my videography skills for this YouTube channel, but I took my camera and I filmed some of my friends' wedding. I like going out and getting shots with my son. And on that topic, I'm a father. I spend a lot of time with my son. I like going on adventures with him, and I have a lot going on outside of work. So ultimately, if I lost my career tomorrow, if I got in an accident and had my arm amputated and wasn't able to do the job anymore, I would be okay. I would be devastated for a while. Like, don't get me wrong, this is a huge part of my life, but in the long run, I would be okay because I have a lot going on outside of work. The person that doesn't, the person whose entire personality is there, they can recover, but you've invested so much emotionally and physically into it. When you lose it, those people have a really hard time kind of reintegrating into society, figuring out what they like. You don't want to be the person that discovers that they have no hobbies outside of work, that they have nothing going on for them. They have no friends outside their work friends. And it's really easy to also feel like in this community that you will never be forgotten. However, once you quit, once you leave, it might seem like things won't go on, but that department will continue to function without you. No matter how good at the job you were, they will continue to function without you, and eventually they will forget about you. Now, that's not bad on their part. Like it's a job. They need to fill seats, and there are other qualified people that can take your place. And you just have to realize that you are helping your community as a police officer, firefighter, paramedic. However, it will still be okay without you, that you are not the only one that can do that job. So what I'm trying to say with that is that you can be passionate. You should sacrifice for your job here and there. Like I have missed holidays with my wife. I have missed family events, but I also go to those things. I am willing to make sacrifices here and there. I'm willing to devote a lot of time to EMS and my career, but I'm not willing to make it everything I am. And I think that's a middle ground. So on the same lines, you need to look at more than just getting into the career, and you need to look at staying in the career. We oftentimes focus on the interview process, getting into the department and trying to just set ourselves up for that. However, if you get into the department and you don't have the tools to make it to retirement, what was the point? And what helps you with longevity in this career is having things outside the career. So all the hobbies I just mentioned, something that brings you joy that has nothing to do with what you're doing at work. Because then when things get stressful at work, when you have a bad day, when you went and you resuscitated or failed to resuscitate a dead child, and you're just having a hard time, having a way to kind of turn away from your job and seek solace in something that's healthy, like not the bottom of a bottle or anything like that, but having a way to mitigate that stress, going for a run, hugging your wife, going out for some nachos and a beer with friends. Everything's fine in moderation, right? If you have those things, you will last much longer in the career. If you don't have a way to disengage, if you don't have a way to kind of compartmentalize and come out of that mode of being a first responder, you will not have a long career, and you are much more likely to be, physically and emotionally injured on the job, which is a huge deal. A lot of people get injured on this job, and I really can't overstate that in this. So that's why I think balance is so important, is because you can't just be looking at the first 5 years. You have to be looking at, the next 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, depending on how early you start in your career. So you just have to be prepared to make it last, and devoting everything to the job really is not how you make that happen. Like I said, balance is key. You can still be passionate, you can still sacrifice for your career, and honestly, I would say that to be very successful in your career, you have to sacrifice, but you have to sacrifice smartly. And unless you want to be the top 0.5%, of what you do, of everybody around you in one area, I don't think obsession is the key there. I have not found that obsession has helped me. I will be completely honest. I was that guy. I worked too much right at the beginning. I've burnt out multiple times, and these are kind of my own lesson learned. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope this clears some of that up. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you next week.